At this time, I'll call our meeting to order. I'll ask all to rise for a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. I'll ask now that we all turn for a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. At this time, Jessica, statement of publication, please.
Take notice that this regular meeting of the mayor and council being held this 9th day of May, 2022 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti.
Here.
Four.
Here.
Mar.
Here.
Hvac.
Here.
Noha.
Here.
Roberts.
Thank you. Hi, Donna. Did it work? You want to check it?
Yep.
I think so. Well, we definitely know that she is here.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I am very excited to read our proclamation for the Buddy Poppies. And then I will ask our lovely gentleman and young lady to come up and also speak and address the council and the residents, okay? Sounds great. Thank you. So at this time, I would like to read our proclamation regarding the Buddy Poppies. We okay, Dan? Okay, that's all right. Whereas the annual distribution of Buddy Poppies by the veterans of foreign war of the United States have been officially recognized and endorsed by governmental leaders since 1922. And whereas VFW Buddy Poppies are assembled by disabled veterans and the proceeds of this worthy fundraising campaign are used exclusively for the benefit of disabled and needy veterans and the widows and orphans of deceased veterans. And whereas the basic purpose of the annual distribution of Buddy Poppies by the veterans of foreign wars is eloquently reflected in the desire to honor the dead by helping the living. Now, therefore, I, Victoria Kilpatrick, Mayor of the Borough of Servo, do hereby urge the citizens of this community to recognize the merits of this cause by contributing generously to its support through the purchase of Buddy Poppies on the days set aside for this distribution of these symbols of appreciation for the sacrifices of our honored dead. I urge all patriotic citizens to wear a Buddy Poppy as mute evidence of our gratitude to the men and women of this country who have risked their lives in defense of the freedoms which we continue to enjoy as American citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I will humbly ask I need a motion first and
I'd like to make a motion to
approve the proclamation.
approve the proclamation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Mar. Conti.
Yes.
Four.
Yes.
Hvac.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
And now, second time, our gentleman from our VFW, and of course, anybody wishes to speak and address our council or the public, I'd appreciate that.
This phone on there?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Microphone, yes. If you'd like to phone someone, I'll have to work something out.
Okay, I think it's on.
Thanks, Ken.
Mayor Ken Kelly, representing VFW Post 4699 for the annual poppy ceremony here for the first sales of our poppies to the mayor and council, as is a tradition. We'd also like to thank the mayor and council and the mayor and councils years ago for the continued support of the veterans of our community. You've always been there for us, and we'd like to thank you for that. And these poppies, as you mentioned, Mayor, are made by disabled veterans, and the funds that we receive go back into that cause. So that being said, the Veterans of Foreign Wars of Servo, thank you very much for allowing us to be here today, and we hope you can generously give in a couple minutes, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you very much, Ken. Did anybody else wish to speak as well? Ken?
Sorry?
Are you ready for collection, or did anybody else wish? I think we're ready for collection too. So as part of tradition, our council, absolutely. As part of tradition, please come up to our council. I'm just excited that we're back in public again so we can do this. We have not done this in so long. I'm gonna come to you. Thank you so much. What? It's. I'm ready. I'm ready.
You got this, right? Yeah. Appreciate it. I hope so. We're trying. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. And
Thank you, Ken.
thank you all for the opportunity to yet again give my students a little bit of knowledge also. So, and I'm sure that Michelle, you'll do the same.
Of course.
The teacher in us always takes that opportunity to bring what we learn and what we do here into our classrooms. Thank you all. Our next proclamation is an exciting one also. It is officially Professional Municipal Clerks Week. So we'll applaud that. We have tremendous municipal clerks right here before us. So I will start with this proclamation now. Whereas the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. And whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants. Is that aging you ladies? And whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at each level. And whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on the functions of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk, say that 5 times fast, through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, county, and international professionals organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now, therefore, I, Victoria Kilpatrick, Mayor of the Borough of Servo, do recognize the week of May 1st through May 7th as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Jessica Morales, and to all professional municipal clerks for their vital service they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have a motion, please? to accept this proclamation?
Motion to accept the
Do I have a
proclamation.
second? Ladies and gentlemen, roll call, please.
Councilpersons June 4,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Anoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Thank you,
Speech,
everyone.
Speech.
What speech? Beautiful proclamation. Wow. I don't think I've said municipal clerk that many times in my life. Professional municipal clerk. And we do have one more proclamation. Whereas Falun Dafa, also known as Falun Gong, is a peaceful and advanced cultivation practice system that centers around the universal principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, and consists of 5 sets of gentle exercises, including meditation. And whereas Falun Dafa was first introduced to the public by Mr. Lee, help me, girls, Hongzi on May 13th, 1992, and has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to improving health in mind, body, and spirit, and to enhancing the well-being of people from all walks of society who follow its tenet. And whereas all Falun Dafa activities, including classes and practices, are offered by volunteers, open to the public and free of charge, over 100 million practitioners in more than 100 countries have benefited from practicing Falun Dafa. And whereas Falun Dafa practitioners in the community, including the Borough of Servo, New Jersey, across the United States, celebrate the 30th anniversary of public introduction of Falun Dafa and World Falun Dafa Day. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Victoria Kilpatrick, Borough of Servo, do hereby proclaim May 13th, 2022 to be Falun Dafa Day, honoring truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance. Do I have a motion to accept this proclamation?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the proclamation.
Is there a second? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Mar,
Yes.
Conti,
Yeah.
Dunfor, Novak,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Okay.
Mayor, I just need a short 2-minute executive session just to discuss potential litigation. So if you don't mind, Mayor, whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex. The public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 2 minutes to discuss possible litigation. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any of the matters which may be properly brought before at this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Can I have a motion, please?
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Mar, Conti,
Yes.
Dunfor,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Noha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Because this will be short, we're going to use this room right back here. Okay, so Ladies and gentlemen, can I have a motion to go back into our regular meeting?
Make a motion to resume the public meeting.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Great. Let's move forward now with the remainder of our agenda for this evening. Old business, we have a public.
Did we skip the approval of minutes?
Oh, did we? Oh, my Lord, I got so excited over all of our proclamations. Thank you. And I actually didn't even cross it off. Look at that. At this time, then I will ask for approval of prior minutes of the mayor and council. Council President Mar, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve the prior minutes of the mayor and council, April 25th, 2022, regular and agenda sessions.
Is there a second? Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Mar,
Yes.
Conti. June 4.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Okay, now moving forward to old business, public hearing on the 2022 municipal budget. And clerk's announcement, notice of approval and advertising for the public hearing. So,
Yes, the 2022 budget approval and public hearing notice has been advertised in the Home News Tribune on April 15, 2022, which gave notice of the date and time of this public hearing and put before the council tonight the 2022 municipal budget resolution number 2022-99.
anybody from the public wish to speak in reference to public hearing on the 2022 municipal budget? Please either stand or raise your hand. How are we looking online? I see 6 attendees, no one? Okay, at this point, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion.
And
Second.
thank you. And roll call for that.
Councilpersons Mar,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
June 4,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Noha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, then I would like, we need a,
Motion that we adopt the municipal budget for this year.
thank you very much, Mary. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
June 4,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Noha, Roberts.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward now with our next public hearing on following ordinance number 12-22. Jessica.
An ordinance amending Chapter 2 Administration of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Servo to add 2-32.7 Community Garden.
Councilwoman Mar, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on May 23rd.
No, got to open it to the public. This is public hearing.
Just the public.
Yeah.
My faux pas again. I was gonna just say, how many times have we introduced this community garden? So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the public for any and all comments regarding our community garden. Wonderful. I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Make a motion to close the public portion
And
Roll call and to adopt.
and adopt.
Oh, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Mar,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
June 4,
Yes.
Novak, Noha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Woo-hoo, that is official now in the community garden. I feel like that was a take 5.
Yes.
Um,
They're
but I'm-
testing soil now. They're
It's a great thing.
composting. They have beehives. It's very exciting.
Yes, they
Get a
do.
Grant for a beehive, yeah.
Yes, a little bit of everything. Let's go on now to new business. Introduction on the following ordinance, please.
Ordinance number 13-22, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 7 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Saraville to amend Section 7-3.7 handicap parking spaces and streets.
So that goes over the Councilwoman June 4.
Thank you. I move the ordinance to be approved on the first reading and advertised according to the law, and the public hearing to be held on May 23rd, 2022. Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons June 4,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Noha,
Yes. Yes.
Roberts.
We're all very excited on that one. Let's move forward with our next ordinance, Jess.
Ordinance number 14-22, an ordinance amending Chapter 2 Administration to amend subsection 2-15.5 fees of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Saraville.
That is going to go over to our rec committee. That is Council President Mar, please.
Yes, thank you. I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on May 23rd.
Is there a second? Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Mar,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
June 4,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts. Ordinance number 15-22, an ordinance vacating all of the right, title, and interest of the Borough of Servo and the entirety of a paper street known as Laurel Street.
Okay, that's planning and zoning. Councilman Enoha, please.
Yes, I move the ordinance 15-22 to be approved on the first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on May 23rd, 2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Enoha,
Yes.
Conti,
Can I just ask a quick question?
Mhm.
What was this exactly? Were we giving back? Did we have property and we were giving it back to the original owner or something?
It's a paper street. It's on the map. And we're going to sell it to the owners of the adjacent property.
Mhm.
Talk to the tax assessor and he's totally in favor.
Councilman Enoha, did you want to add anything more? I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Right, so that I'm a yes.
June 4,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Roberts.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the consent agenda resolutions. I'll open to the public for any and all comments regarding consent agenda items only. If you wish to speak, please come forward or press *9. Seeing no one, I will entertain a motion to close the public portion, and accept the consent agenda resolutions.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion and accept the consent agenda resolutions.
Is there a second? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Mar,
Yes.
Conti,
So I'm good with everything except I'm abstaining from 22-02318.
2, 3, 1.
1, 2, 3.
We're not there yet.
No?
What? Oh, wait, which one? 2?
The,
Yeah, where?
bills?
Oh, you're on the bill list. I was going to say, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. that's
Thanks.
fine.
I
So
mean-
everything else is good on the bill list. If you go to the
Okay.
bill list and you find this one, I'm just abstaining. The rest is a yes.
Mhm.
Everything else is a yes.
Thank you.
June 4,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
So thrilled to see the Saint Stands
Yes. Oh. I agree. Good mention there, Donna. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to move us over to a resolution to be read in full. That is 2022-108.
A resolution of the Borough of Servo in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the mayor and borough clerk to execute a memorandum of understanding between the Borough of Servo and the Servo Board of Education, whereas the borough owns certain property commonly known as Block 28.01, Lot 1.03, located in the Borough of Servo, and whereas the Servo Board of Education owns certain property commonly known as Block 498, Lot 1, Block 499, Lot 1, and Block 502, Lot 1, which consists of 3 athletic fields, playground, and a parking area for its recreational program. Whereas the Board of Education is in need of a new bus staging and service area, and the borough is in need of athletic fields, playground, and a parking area for its recreational programs. And whereas the Board of Education is willing to lease its property to the borough, and the borough is willing to lease an approximate 7+ acres portion of the borough property to the Board of Education, and where as a memorandum of understanding was prepared between the Borough of Servo and the Servo Board of Education, citing the details of the leasing. And whereas the governing body of the Borough of Servo has reviewed and approved the memorandum of understanding between the parties, and therefore it is hereby resolved that the proper borough officials are authorized and directed to execute the memorandum of understanding between the borough and the Servo Board of Education.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to open to the public on any and all comments regarding this resolution. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close and accept this resolution.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion and accept this resolution.
Second,
Councilpersons Mar,
Yes.
Conti,
yes.
June 4,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Still just a little disappointed that we couldn't disperse the, but yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, before moving to our borough attorney's report, which I'm pretty sure he's going to say none, but I thought so. I would like to say, though, in reference to resolution 20-22-108, this was an absolute momentous situation that we had transpire. It took the two parties coming together, something that had not been done before, holding that joint meeting. I am so very proud at the way this council worked with the Board of Education, the way we were able to find a common good for all of our residents and also for our students. And I would like to just publicly thank Dr. Labby, the Board of Education, as well as Jonathan Bush, their attorney, as well as Michael DuPont, Mr. Frankel, and this entire governing body for making this happen. And I think this is truly what progress and compromise really means. So once again, I thank everybody. And most importantly, I want to thank our residents who made sure that this was going to be fixed and work, and our residents deserve a lot of that support as well. So thank you all for that. That's as exciting as the St. Stan's Carnival. All right.
Now we're going to party. Now we're going to have an event at the Morgan Fields to celebrate.
That is one of the best things that we can do in honor of Wayne, his family, and just the way our community came together. We all came together. I believe you are right, but I didn't want to say that because my dates are getting a little screwy in my mind. I think it is today.
It is.
Yeah, I believe it is today.
Yep.
So how fitting of a day to put this resolution in effect. So we hear you. We think of you. I would not doubt that. And bless you, Wayne, and the rest of your family. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'll open to the public for any and all comments for the good of the order here. If you wish to speak, please come forward or raise your hand virtually. So I have one coming forward and I see Alexa Harris. Alexa Harris will call you into the meeting in just a moment. Go ahead, Karen.
Good
Beaver.
evening, Mayor, Council, and Professionals. Karen Bieber, 9 Burlington Road. I just want two things. I want to give a big shout out to Sergeant Braille. He's very vigilant, has been on Johnson's Lane, and I thank you for that. So, and they've been doing a good job there. A lot of cars getting pulled over. They shouldn't be speeding, especially by a school zone. Secondly, we know how there's so many events in town. Sometimes there's 3 a day or so. And I've been part of a lot of that the last year or two. And I see our council people out. And sometimes, you know, we have new council people, maybe people don't know who they are. And so I said, you know, it would be really great if they had a little badge, so to speak. So I sat down and I created this button.
Oh, how
Borough-
great
with
is
the
that?
Brand new borough seal.
I love
So
it.
I had asked, and then I also took the next step and invited my counterpart. As you know, I'm the Republican chairman, and I spoke to Mr. Palando, the Democrat chairman, and asked if he would like to share in this effort. So we split it, and I believe he gave his council
Yeah.
members the pins when I saw
Thank
them at the Pba Dinner, which was awesome. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers and to the furry mothers and fur baby mothers and the mothers of nieces and nephews, so to speak, you know. Anyway, I just want to give these to our Republican council people. And Mayor, I have one for you too, because you are
Thank
a
you.
past council.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
Gifts today. Gifts today. These, the pin.
Love to decorate my locale.
Oh. I thought
Not that.
I'm gonna say Sergeant Burley, even though he's gonna show.
Mr. Palando beat me to the punch, but that's okay. I'm so happy that he was so
It's a
very
great
excited
idea.
about it.
Thank you. I
all.
agree.
Well, you know what? This, again, this is a very, I know there's not a lot of money involved in this job. You do it from your hearts. You do it because we love our town. And so, and you know, you leave your families and you put things and you just, thank you.
Amen
For
to
your
that.
service.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Karen, for
now
thinking
people
of
will know
us.
who you are.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you very much. I have to say, this seal is surely becoming more and more present every single day, which is absolutely wonderful. Next, we have Alexa Harris. You're in the public. Just say your name and address for the record.
Hi, Alexandria Harris, 47 East Cup Street. I just want to verify that this is public comment on any topic or issue, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, great. I also serve on the Environmental Commission for Servo. Mayor Kirkpatrick, thank you so much for coming at the ribbon cutting. I have one thing. So regarding the Environmental Commission, or actually a couple of things. One is I had raised my hand earlier this meeting about the Servo Community Garden. I was a little confused. Did you pass the Servo Community Commission? Is that what was just passed?
No, that wasn't the commission. That was actually the community garden. It took us a while because there were a couple of changes that needed to be made a few times. So that was actually officially adopting that we have a community garden and what the fee was for those plots.
I see.
Yeah, and a few other items on there. But go ahead, because I think I know where you're going with that question regarding the community garden committee.
Yeah, so we kind of learned about it very like out of pocket. It kind of was like we weren't really consulted on it being like a new committee, and so that caught us a little bit off guard. So I do ask if the town council and the mayor could consult with us or give us a heads up, like open up the communication with us on concerning that, because that was something that that before I even joined the commission was working on it and even made like a small committee of 3 of the current members. And we were a little bit caught off hand with this news. So I just want to highlight that if more communication further on could happen.
I think Jessica, our municipal clerk, she can give you a little bit more insight onto that because it's not really a committee. It's not a committee the way that we appoint committees in January. It was actually something I believe that the Environmental Commission wanted. And I believe it's in essence like a subset of the Environmental Commission where you guys actually have complete control over appointments and who gets to serve on it. Or
Right,
something
but-
similar. Jess, would you be able to give Ms. Harris a little bit more info on that?
The ordinance that we adopted tonight puts the community garden underneath the Environmental Commission. So
9
the
members.
the members that are underneath the Environmental Commission also have control of the community garden.
But it's necessary because the Environmental Commission is more than just the community garden.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I guess because we were just reviewing the ordinance and we were just a bit confused, I believe like 2 meetings ago when we first learned about it. It's like, so, right, you can provide the information to me now and to the Environmental Commission now, but we just were caught off hand and we're trying to understand what the ordinance meant. So I just want to say for future reference to communicate with us prior to passing the ordinance so that we can understand and have a better understanding of what's going on. And furthermore, we also, this past meeting on May, who is that, 2nd, 3rd, this first Tuesday of the month, we had passed a vote for a recommendation for the mayor and town council to publicly oppose the Woodbridge gas plant. I just wanted to check in if you have received that proposal or recommendation, I should say. And if you have, is that something that you will be discussing? Since you haven't discussed it this meeting, can you please put that on the agenda for next meeting on the 23rd?
I definitely did not see that proposal brought to us. And from the looks of my counsel, I don't. Yeah.
May have been, I believe it was in your minutes from the last meeting, but other than that, we did
If it-
not receive it.
It's got to be, if it's in the minutes of your meeting, I think it has to come more formally to the municipal clerk because that has to then be added to an agenda. So that's a little bit more of a formal process that the Environmental Commission would have to just contact Jess for. And then we would discuss that and ultimately determine whether it goes onto agenda. So Jess, would you reach out and submit it to, or?
They can send me an email with the recommendation of that.
Jess, could you say your email out loud? Since I don't have that offhand.
Jessica@servo.com.
Does that have to come through the commissioner or the secretary, or it can come through any member of the board?
It's got to come, I think, through their chairperson.
Through their chair. Okay, so then Walter would have to send that email.
Okay, I see. Thank you for the clarification. And just overall, I would like to know if any of the town councils members or the mayor is aware of what's happening with the Woodbridge gas plant proposal.
I am not.
Anyone?
Mm-mm.
Okay, just in short, so I would be giving it like not doing it justice as like a community member, Charlie Caradeville from New Jersey Food and Water Watch would do. But essentially, it's a gas plant proposal in a neighborhood in Woodbridge, and there is no actual documentation of demand for this gas plant, besides from the attorneys of the developers that want to build this gas plant. And in short, there would be a lot of particulate matter and a lot of pollutants that would be released that would affect school districts, and also just anybody of the residents of Servo, of Fords, of Perth Amboy, Old Bridge, South River, Highland Park, Piscataway, Edison, Metuchen, South Plainfield. The list goes on and on. And essentially, it's proposed to be a 630 megawatt gas power plant. And it's very interesting because PSE&G is pulling out a gas power, and also overall in the state, we're trying to move into a wind and solar, quote unquote, clean energy. So it's kind of contradicting to what the state master plan has, and overall would be a nuisance and also a health hazard for residents in the Middlesex County. And so the Environmental Commission, Charlie Caradeville from New Jersey Food and Water Watch presented to us in the April meeting, and then we put it to a vote on May for the town council and mayor to consider publicly opposing Woodbridge contract and agreement with this company. It's not in the, what's kind of like waiting for the NJDEP for some like permissions and stuff like that. But essentially also the developers would not be paying CPV would not be paying any taxes essentially. And so the residents and the school district, they would not be enjoying or getting any money to further fund their programs or the school district overall. So
Thank you.
that's a little bit in short of what that is.
Yeah, now that you did mention it, I always say his last name wrong, Mr.
Cradaville?
Cravel, that's the
Cradaville.
Cradaville. He did mention that to me, so I don't want to say that I did not hear about it. I definitely did. I just haven't been digging in as deeply, and Councilman Anoha did mention it to me as well, so I know that he might probably know a little bit more. What I'll ask you to do, because it is very difficult to kind of get all that information out, I think that when you do turn around and make that recommendation to the council to consider that, any information that you have would always be beneficial that you can include within that packet for us to review. We usually get our council packets by Friday. And I think that it's important for all of us as a council to also look in and do some homework on that as well prior to it coming up in our next meeting and just see where that is. But Ms. Harris, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention and working so hard on the environmental commission. I'm telling you, wonderful, wonderful people there. And of course, you can always reach out to Councilwoman Marr. I know that she is a fixture with the commission, and she can help guide you guys through. So next time you can get things to the council agenda a little bit sooner. So I appreciate though you calling in today and being able to participate even virtually. That's great.
Yeah, I know,
Thank you.
Alexa, you have my email because I see you
Yes.
on a few of the email chains. So just forward along whatever you like and I will pass it along.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Yes. Sorry,
Councilman Anoha, go ahead.
Honestly, I think I did hear Edison's council rejecting it or publicly opposing it about a year ago or so.
Oh, they did, really?
Not
Yes.
sure if there are any other neighboring
Yes.
towns that really.
There are. I know Highland Park has as well. And I believe one or two other townships have as well in addition. I do not recall, but I know Highland Park for sure, Edison for sure, and I believe two other townships have as well.
Let's do a little homework, and Dan, can you just look in to see if any other surrounding towns close here have also commented on that, just to see. He loves when I give him a homework assignment to do. So he's got his pen out. Thank you, Ms. Harris. I appreciate you calling in. I hope we hear from you again. I think she left. Okay, wonderful. Anybody else from the public? Seeing nobody else? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Harris. You raised your hand again.
Yeah, I was still talking. So thank you. I just had one more topic discussion. First off, Councilwoman, Mayor, Mar, I will be forwarding the PowerPoint information that Charlie Cradaville presented in the Environmental Commission. So if you could pass that along to your fellow council men and women, that'd be much appreciated. Also, in regards to DuPont, some research that I was doing about like two years ago, perhaps, and it's been really difficult to find information on this. So apparently, because of the pollution and the pollution that DuPont did in Servo, they donated green space, public green space, to the municipality. But there is no mention of this public green space anywhere. I couldn't find it in the master plan. When I would call Parks and Rec, I was essentially sent on a duck goose chase between the different departments. And then I think it was maybe perhaps the clerk's office or another office, I was answered with some angst on why I was inquiring about this when it's clearly supposed to be public green space as published by DuPont. So I was wondering if someone could clarify where this green space is.
I'm going to ask, Jay, can you elaborate a little bit on that? I don't know if the delineation is actually green space. You probably speak more on that.
I think the residents talking about within the past couple of years, this is a number of years ago, the borough received with an agreement with DuPont, approximately 70 acres on the north side of Cheesequake Road, 40 acres on the south side of Cheesequake Road. Correct. It's adjacent to the existing ball fields on Cheesequake Road, to give you an idea where the location is. So I'm thinking that's maybe
That's
what she's
probably-
referring to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and then as posted, I just looked this up as you were discussing it on Cheesecake Road. So, it's still being cleaned up under the NJDEP.
I can't speak on that, but Jay, I don't know if that's accurate.
I think that is accurate. I think that there are underground contamination issues
Well,
ongoing in that area. Yes.
which I want them to do. I want them to have to continue to remediate everything. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So,
Do we,
thank you.
Councilman Jay, is that correct?
He's actually our engineer, but I'm sure he would just love to be a council person too. No, he's actually he's one of our professionals. He's our engineer. Go ahead. What was your next question, Alexis?
Do you, Alexa, please.
Alexa, I'm sorry.
It's all right. So I was wondering, because it's not posted on the EPA website as to like when this green space would be okay for the public to like touch to go on to. Do you happen to have any information on that?
It's groundwater.
If there's a timeline?
It's groundwater contamination.
Yeah,
There's no contamination issues above ground that require
Oh, I
cleanup.
see.
It's underground groundwater that's contaminated. So there's an ongoing cleanup on that property. It is borough property at this point. So as far as public access,
There's no restrictions on it because it's
Yeah.
just the groundwater.
Yeah.
So,
They're handling that remediation through wells, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Constantly check, yeah.
yeah. So do you
Okay.
understand that, Ms. Harris?
I do, but what I don't understand is the angst and kind of like hostility I was receiving from one of the offices when I was inquiring about it, and that this information is only available on the EPA website, but like I couldn't find it anywhere on the Servo website, which I would like to also add is not very approachable. It's not like, it's a little bit hard to navigate.
We don't
even
have
as,
to list
like-
that on our site, right? That's not,
Just
it's,
listed as
it's,
our property.
it's
Yeah,
borough owned
it's
property. It's
listed
not
as a-
on your Rossi, your recreation open space inventory. It's borough property.
yeah. So,
Did you hear where to find that, the recreation inventory space, that's where you find it?
Well, that, it's not going to be on the recreation, the Rossi, the recreation open space inventory has all the property that's under Green Acres jurisdiction that's owned by the borough. This property is not going to be on that list.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
right.
yeah, because it's not, it's, right.
But we can find it on the list that we used to determine if we had space that it was all
Yeah.
listed on there.
Correct.
And Ms. Harris, I appreciate the fact that you did go through as many of our departments as you could in order to try and get that information. I think sometimes the best way to get those answers is also to just come to us, because one of the things that one of the great things about being on the council is we do have an excellent professional like Jay. When it comes to anything relating to land matters within our town, dating back for a very, very long time, Jay seems to always have the answer. He has a big briefcase he brings in, kind of like Mary Poppins bag, and I swear, just it's unending. It just, so I think that I appreciate the fact that you came here when you ran into a little bit of a difficult time getting information. I hope we were able to clarify that a little for you.
And also just an apology that, it's unfortunate that you were treated in that manner. I think you're frustrated that, the customer service wasn't a little bit better. So, Dan, if we could send out a memo or something to remind all of our departments to be as helpful as possible to our residents who call with concerns. It's obvious that Ms. Harris is very concerned about the environment.
Mhm, for sure.
But
Yeah.
the information wasn't posted anywhere online. So I understand like it's not, I guess, you have to, there isn't like a ordinance legislation that says that you have to, but isn't it like, I guess, the moral obligation of the municipality to post this information, since one, it's like, green space, it's something that happened
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, I think you're confusing it. It's not green space. I think you're confusing that with what the property is really designated as.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
Laurel
DuPont
Street's,
labeled it-
that's why.
I think the borough employees might have been a little confused as to what you're asking for. Since this is not considered green space, it's not covered that way.
Yeah,
It's just borough-owned property. that
I think it was-
Donated to us by DuPont.
yeah, it's borough-owned property. It's not, you're probably thinking about some type of like contaminated land that needs to be listed, but that's not really what this is. This isn't contaminated land. That would need to be listed within some type of like a public disclosure site. It's not, it's not like that. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say complicated, but actually I think we're a little bit in a better spot than what some of those other spaces are that you're probably referencing. This is really just a groundwater contamination issue that DuPont has a responsibility to continue to remediate. But it does not require, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it needs to be listed on any type of contaminated land site.
All these issues were discussed years ago when the borough acquired the property. So I think it's not something that happened within the past few years. This is a number of years ago. Before the borough acquired the property, there were all kinds of environmental studies done. It was all discussed publicly. You had ordinances that were adopted allowing you to acquire the property. So all the things that the resident is asking happened. It's just that it happened a number of years ago.
When you say a number, are we talking decades?
2004.
I'm thinking not that long. I'm thinking, 7, 8, 9 years ago, maybe it was
Okay.
more longer, 10 years. Okay.
So probably
'Cause the-
close to about 10 years.
Yes.
Because the on DuPont site and also the EPA, it's labeled as green space. That's why. But just
I'm
overall,
sorry, say that again?
on DuPont's like statement, they call it green space, and also EPA calls it green space. But besides it being like not contaminated or not, the fact that it's like this big actor, this big company, DuPont, has this presence in Servo, and so they donated, right, and it's now property of Borough, Servo Borough, but it was just so hard to find information on that, and so overall information has a tendency of being kept away and gatekept, even in local matters. So I guess like for more open dialogue, just like for it to be easier accessible for residents who also may like stumble upon that information and would want to look into it.
Yeah, you
Just for
can,
future reference, stuff like that, you'd be best calling the tax assessor's office. 'Cause Joe Cox probably would know exactly what you're
Yeah.
referring to. You could give them lot numbers on the property.
one of the
Could you
things
repeat
I.
that? Hear that?
That was what Councilwoman Novak was stating, is that our tax assessor, Joe Cups, who also knows about everything about every single property, would also be a great resource if you have questions in reference to that. But I will say this, at least in the time that I've been up here serving either as a council person or as mayor, I'm very proud of our disclosure and the way that we rely on our engineers, especially when it comes to any type of contaminated sites or any type of public safety issues. I would never, ever, ever allow anything, at least sitting in this middle seat with a microphone, to ever be swept under the rug. I mean, I think we're all very familiar with what's going on in Colonia right now and the fears that is going through that community, as that school right now may be the site of a potential major contamination issue that is causing cancer, very, very rare brain tumors. We know where we live here in Servo. Servo has been an industrial hub ever since I've lived here 43 years, my entire life. DuPont, Hercules, National Lead, we could go on and on and on. And this community is well aware of what it's like in order to have to deal with cleanups and making sure that the people here are safe. That includes in areas in Melrose. My own grandfather, who worked in National Lead and then went across the river to Carborundum, died of mesothelioma along with Mickey Sedlak. I especially am extremely sensitive to that. So please know that the people up here and the professionals up here, we would never look to gatekeep something or look to hide something from the public. That is absolutely disturbing, disgusting, unethical, and just inhuman. So please, Ms. Harris, I will just ask you to come to us, ask us questions if you have an issue, but I do not want you to feel or to insinuate to anybody that this council or this mayor, myself, would ever be comfortable with hiding information from our public. That is not how we do business here.
I'm sure, Mayor, that what it probably was they really weren't
didn't
sure of
know.
exactly what you were asking.
More than likely, yeah, it's
They
complicated.
didn't know where to even direct you because they weren't really sure. But if you're trying to find out anything about any particular lot and block in this town, Joe Cups knows it all.
Yes, so,
Great. It
all
seems like
right.
I live on the street that he's named after. I mean, that's
Oh,
named. So,
that's wonderful. Thank you,
Great.
Ms. Harris. I appreciate your questions, and please, any other issues or questions,
Yeah.
reach out and make sure that, reach out to Dan, reach out to Jess, the clerk, or like I said, our tax assessor, and we'll get you in touch with the individuals that you need to make certain that you have the answers that you're looking for.
Yeah, I just have one closing note. In regards to the gas plant, there is a action item that's happening on Saturday, May 14th in Perth Amboy. It's at the NAACP Perth Amboy area branch, area. It's taking place virtually or in person at 2:30, and I can send that information in that email that I'm forwarding to Councilwoman Mayor.
That would be wonderful. I appreciate that. And hopefully we can get more information that the council can attend and it's virtual. That's always excellent. Thank you so much, Ms. Harris.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, wonderful. I'll see you soon at the community garden. Take care. Okay, anybody else from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a
I'd
motion.
like to make a motion to close the public portion.
All in favor?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Oh, second? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move forward right now with our next meeting. So I'll once again ask for everybody to please rise for a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you once again. Statement of publication, please, Jessica.
Take notice that this agenda meeting of the mayor and council being held this 9th day of May, 2022 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti.
Here.
Junfor. Mar.
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Noha.
Here.
Roberts.
Any questions on the ordinances previously mentioned? Okay, moving forward with new business and communication.
Mayor,
Oh, I'm sorry.
if I may, as I was sitting here doing the math, and math is not my specialty.
Two LAL teachers.
Yeah, I'm actually looking over these permit fees for men's cricket league, and they are definitely not equitable to the rate that we just negotiated with several men's softball. So I don't know if these numbers can be reevaluated, but I do not think they're equitable.
At this point, I think we already passed in that, and from an attorney's perspective, I think that what we would have to do is then turn around and rescind that ordinance and I don't, it's up for public hearing, so we can table it then at the public hearing session to turn around and make adjustments to that fee. If that is something that we
Maybe
want
make an amendment moving forward.
Yeah, and so I think that's the action that we,
Do that now and just reintroduce at the next.
well, that's what I was going to say, if we turned around and maybe did that now. Let's have, as soon as,
Too high.
let me see if we can grab a hold of Mike Dupont and see what the best course of action is, so that way we do this the right way.
Sounds good.
Okay, so as soon as Mike comes in, we will, let me see if I can get a hold of him. Mr. Dupont. Mr. Dupont, your services are needed.
How's your math skills?
Mr. Dupont, our question here from the council president is in reviewing the ordinance that we just passed in reference to the fees related to sports. There seems to be an inequity when it comes to the cricket league fees and the ones that we negotiated with the adult league. If we wanted to, go ahead.
That was specifically addressed by the Parks and Rec director, so I'm not quite sure if you want me to raise it with him, I'll raise it with him.
Yeah, I think it warrants a conversation.
Okay, I can,
So at this point with the ordinance that we already,
you can, no, this is up for old business, right?
this is up for old
Yeah,
business
so
with
we can
introduction.
Table it, and then I'll give him a call tomorrow.
Well,
Like,
Do you want to table it now, or do we want to do that at the public hearing? Like, how,
no,
what's
you
the
know
best
what,
course of
let's
action?
do it right. Let me talk to Brian.
we can just reintroduce.
Reintroduce it.
Yeah.
If everybody agrees though to leave it, then we can.
And we can leave it and have it.
Yeah,
yeah.
let me,
Mike, if I may, there was extensive conversations about these fees.
I know,
Okay.
let me talk to Brian again. We'll
Okay.
do it tomorrow.
Okay, so that sounds,
I'm just asking this question.
go ahead.
Men's cricket league. Is it different than the kids' cricket? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I
Or is
don't
it all
know.
the same? Okay.
I'm just comparing the men's softball to the men's cricket. So men's softball pays $150 for 40 hours total, which ends up being equivalent to $40 in comparison to the 130 that we would charge men's cricket league. So I just don't think that it's equitable. I understand that you probably compared this to fees in other towns. I just don't think it's fair when you compare it to other men's sports leagues in town.
It was also based on the amount of hours that the use of the fields versus there was other extensive things that went into the number. So I just want to make sure it was on an hourly basis, also on the number of hours that were used of the field. So I just want to make sure it's not on the face of it, it's not just apples to apples.
Right.
We'll just talk Brian tomorrow.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And if everything's kosher, then
Yeah,
we'll
then
just
we just bring it
follow
up the
through
next
with the
meeting.
public meeting. If not, we'll just.
And we'll make the necessary adjustments. Thanks, Mike.
Saves us time.
Okay, I'll let you finish. All right, wonderful. Thank you. For the record, it took me a long time to realize we weren't talking about bugs, okay? Because in my world, it's a sport that unfortunately I find interesting, but know nothing about. Without any other questions regarding the ordinances previously introduced, we'll move on to communication and committee reports with administration and finance. Councilman Novak, please.
I need approval for authorize the tax collector in consultation with the CFO to prepare an estimated tax bill for the third installment for the 2022 property taxes. I'm reading that separate because people get, it's because of the state. We're not getting.
Absolutely, yeah.
We are not getting the state numbers, so we can't have a definite bill, but we need tax money on the third quarter, so it'll be an estimated bill. Other than that, I read this pretty quick.
Absolutely. That's a resolution required. Any objection to that? And the reso will be ready for next meeting. Sounds good, Mayor.
Okay.
Thanks.
C, refer to open space. D, under, okay, that's just a social affairs permit for the VFW. Anybody have a problem with that?
No, absolutely. A question about Luke Street. Is that all the way on the end? Do we know where that location is? 175 Luke, or is that? It's in the middle? Okay, I'm just trying to,
It's two back pieces. in the
Okay.
back of Somebody's.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I said? But I mean, Joe is on open space, so
Yes,
he'll have a,
I just know that in Morgan, the houses don't go, their numbers are complete. You could be at 100 and then the house next to it could be 110.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get a feel for which number we were looking at, but thank you.
Eric, just for your information, it's between South Pine and Woodland, that section.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that, Jay.
And
Much
it's
better.
By Parker and Liberty.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, and there was no objection to the application for social affair? Anything else, Mayor?
I just want to say I'm tickled pink that the budget is now approved.
Yay.
And we will be getting ready to just start discussing some bonding ordinances.
Wonderful. Wow, 3 times. We got St. Stan's, bus depots, and now budget. Woo.
Budget
Yes.
passes on time. Great.
And I'm excited that we're putting money back into our town where it
Yes.
desperately needs it.
Yes. Planning and zoning, Councilman Enoha.
Yes, no minutes or departmental reports for this meeting for planning and zoning. However, we would like to receive and file the letter of resignation received from Denise Luciano from his position on the Board of Adjustment effective April 7, 2022.
Thank you.
We'd also like to receive and file the notice of adjacent community property / owner, number 1, which is notice of public hearing.
Yes.
Is there a second? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That location right now? Is that the car wash?
For the site plan approval
Yes.
for Posh Car Wash. Agreed.
No, this is the on the agenda. If you're coming off of Ernst Road onto Lorraine Avenue, then onto Route 35, right, it used to be Connie's, adjacent to Connie's, it used to be West Marine. There's 3 retail buildings. They want to subdivide that property. So that's what this application is for.
Is that anything else, Councilman Enoha?
Sorry, yes, that'll be all. Thank you.
That's it. Wonderful. All right, let's move forward. It's funny that we still refer to it as Connie's, although it hasn't been Connie's for a long time. But we all know where it is. Public safety, Councilwoman June 4th, please.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I move the following minutes and reports to be received and filed. A1, Board of Health, the minutes from February 3rd, 2022. B, the letter of resignation as the firefighter was received.
Second.
Oh, so sorry.
Second, that's okay. We could do doubles, 2 seconds.
Amen. And B, the letter of resignation as of the firefighter was received from Mr. Michael from engine number 1. And also my committee reports, I would like to congratulate the Board of Health on the free rabies clinic that took place this Saturday. And also on May 14th, which is this Saturday, we have our fun run for the Human Relations Committee at 11 a.m. and the fishing derby at 8:30 a.m. on the same day. And after that, everything is progress.
Very good. Do we have a second on the second for Michael Gavrin? Thank you. Yeah, Mayor, let's hope for no rain on that fishing derby day. You and I have lived through torrential downpours.
Rainy days.
Yeah, we were wetter than the fish. Like we were saturated. Public Works, Councilman Conti.
Thank you. No minutes and departmental reports. However, we do need an approval for requests for block parties from the residents of Florence
Yes.
Drive between Sunrise Terrace and Dunlap Drive on June 4th from 11 to 6.
Mhm.
And number 2, residents of Corey Street between Donna Street and Such Street on July 3rd.
All paperwork is in order? Wonderful. You know things are coming back because these are I don't think we've had this many block parties on our agenda. That's great. Any committee reports?
Well, so, and yes, at the Morgan Fields, also on June 5th, as we mentioned earlier, they are having a celebration that day. I know we all got the invitation to that, so certainly come out and join in the celebration with the residents and all those in attendance. Celebrate the PFC Wayne Grant Fields and the process that we went through. So 1 to 4. And on another note, I did speak with George in Public Works about the lighting, street lighting, and he did let me know that he's spoken with JCP&L about it, and they are backed up, parts, supplies, demands, et cetera. So they asked for patience.
And we submitted 23 pages, I think, of reports.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Quite a bit. So I'm thankful that he followed up. to find out. He put some pressure on them, but they did express same challenges as many other places with parts and supplies and labor, et cetera. So he'll stay on them.
Some of the parts are hard to come by, these starters.
Oh, yeah.
Having a problem getting parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, while I'm on parts, maybe we can put in another call to the guys about the park over in Morgan and that slide.
Oh, it's in. Phil sent me a
Park's
photo.
in?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Slide is in.
Every time I go by, I'm like, oh, there's that hole.
Yeah.
Good. All right, good. That'll be good. Just the way for June, this way nobody's falling through the hole.
Great.
All right, that's
Wonderful.
it for me. Thank you.
Anything else, Councilman Conti?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Great. Water and sewer and environmental, Councilwoman Roberts?
I have no minutes or departmental reports, but I'll say I love getting back into the world. The PBA dinner was wonderful, and it was good seeing most of you there. There was also a lion steak dinner. Oh, she's sorry.
We can hear you, but it won't be on the recording.
It's just not-
We can her mic reach over to her table? It
Nah.
probably-
Denise's, hers is off most of the.
Take Denise's. There you go. Ah, that's right. Hold it.
I will stand over here. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
We've got you.
Okay. So I just want to say how great it was to go to the PBA dinner and see many of you there, which was wonderful. The Lions had a steak dinner. So those events are starting to come back again. And we do have a lot going on next week. Some things I don't think are on our agenda, but the Historic Society is having their dinner at Riamar on the 12th. And besides for the fun run and fishing derby, there is paper shredding, which we all need. So there's a paper shredding day for that. And if you weren't aware, there is the Rutgers graduation coming in on Sunday. So if you're going to be in New Brunswick, be warned.
Be warned.
I'm also looking forward to the parade again, the Memorial Day parade. So we're looking forward to seeing everyone there and at the other PBA Memorial and the Firemen's Service, among other things on that day also. So fill up your calendars. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much, Donna. Let's move on to recreation with Council President Mar, please.
All right. Are you starting my clock, Nicole?
We're starting your clock.
Okay, so May is Asian Pacific Islander American Heritage Month. So I think it's very fitting that we are finding a place for our men's cricket league. They also just celebrated Ramadan and Eid, and they were supposed to have their event down at Kennedy Park and the weather was awful. And they effortlessly moved it inside and they had a great day. And again, I'm so proud that our town is one of the few that gives schools off to celebrate these holidays. The fishing derby, as you mentioned, the recreation department's very excited. Free worms are provided. I think you just have to bring your own pole and there's prizes for the winner, and the lake is stocked with fish. So it's always exciting. You have a good chance of catching something, followed by the fun run. It's a busy day that day. Yes, the PBA dinner honored retirees. My dad retired 3 years ago, and I've never seen someone so pained with anguished with the decision on whether to retire or not. And most of the men that retired on over the past 3 years, because it was all of them over COVID, we're older. So I think that's a testament that, they love where they work. So kudos to them. The mural has been started. If you drive by Kennedy Park, the mural, the Veterans Memorial is started, and maybe it'll be done in time for the Memorial Day Parade. That's really exciting. Let's see, the library, after now that I'm the liaison to the library, I was excited. I went there for a tour. I mean, as an English teacher, I lived at the library pre-COVID anyway, but the apps that they let people know about during COVID, I now use religiously, more so than, going to the library. But when I did go to the library, do you know they have self-checkout now? You don't have to go to the circulation desk anymore. You can check out your own books. It's like ShopRite. And they have their own garden as well. So there's a lot of interesting things happening over at the library, and they're getting an electronic sign like our athletic field. And so lots of exciting things happening over there. The Morgan event, we already mentioned, we're super excited to, I'm so proud of the Board of Ed and Dr. Labby. And, I took a chance one day and I called him and I reached out because I think it was important for our town, and he was receptive. And I think that that's all that matters, is that we came together for a common purpose. So we can finally celebrate that. I believe so.
Or you said, yes? Okay, just checking.
I have seen, Karen mentioned police on Johnson's Lane. I have also seen them there. So thank you, Sergeant Braille.
I haven't.
Oh.
I better start looking.
Morgan Field thing, is that June 4th or June 5th?
On Johnson's Lane, I go there.
I have thought.
That's June 5th, right?
June 5th.
Okay, thank you. I have it on the 5th.
No, that's a different event. July 3rd was a block party. I don't know if we're all invited to that one. I don't think so. That's a
Glad I
residence.
glad you
block
said
party.
that.
We'll be there.
Maybe
So back to Sergeant Braille, he now emails me monthly reports. So this month, from April 8th to May 8th, the police have issued 633 moving violations. So they're out there and they are writing violations. Last but not least, Dan, the National Amusement Theater, have we heard from them at all?
Has anybody driven by? The building
they
has
did.
been whitewashed.
Yeah,
On the outside, yes, it
Awesome.
has. It's amazing.
awesome.
So I happened to notice it just a couple days ago. I drove around,
Excellent.
over the Edison Bridge, and on the way home from my trip, I came back on the other side over the Perth Amboy Bridge, and I wanted to make sure it was all the way around, and sure. it was.
Wow, I'm thrilled to hear that. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Dan, for following up. That's it, progress.
All right, wonderful. Mayor's report, progress, moving on.
One thing. May 12th is the PBA memorial for
Yes,
officers that
fallen
have died.
soldiers.
At
Fallen
5:30.
soldiers.
Separate
fallen
from
police
Memorial Day
officers.
Parade, that entire week has been dedicated in memory of police officers that have lost their life. And at 5:30 on May 12th, there will be a ceremony in front of police headquarters.
Yes.
Got it.
Please do a wonderful job.
Thank you for
I
that.
think there was some confusion as to whether it was all part of Memorial Day, but it's not.
No, you're right. It's not. Our other services are different. I appreciate that clarification. So progress on my side, everybody here. Great reporting. Let's move on to business administrators report.
Thank you, Mayor. Authorization to execute a discharge of mortgage for property located at 36 Frederick Place.
Any objection, just speak.
Authorization to execute a discharge of mortgage for property located at 8 Henry Street. Authorization to auction a 1997 Pierce pumper fire truck through an online auction process.
Hey, Dan, so I think it's fantastic that we're auctioning off and getting some money back. You can keep us posted on how much we get for that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Authorization to execute a discharge of mortgage for report received from the police department recommending the denial of a massage license for Sunflower Spa. Authorization for the Board of Education to use the portable stage for their graduation ceremonies from June 20th through June 22nd. Award a contract for ceiling replacement and HVAC upgrades at the Public Safety Complex. Bids are being received on May 11th, and if all is in order, we'd like to award the contract at the next meeting and as soon as possible. Authorization to approve the lateral title change for Wayne Bieber to maintenance worker 1 grounds in the Parks Department as per civil service classification appeal, retroactive to November 23rd, 2021. Authorization to award non-fair and open contract to American Timber and Steel for the purchase of guardrails and related equipment in an amount not to exceed $21,632.04. And Council President Marr forgot to mention a beautiful building that's over at the soccer complex.
Oh, we found it, Jared.
Found it. Yep. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Denise, anything from CFO's report?
Nothing, Madam Mayor, thank you.
It was a big day. The budget's through, so I'll. Jay, Borough Engineers report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. One item, the DOT is accepting grant application for the 2023 fiscal year. Typically, you submit road applications and possibly some sidewalk applications each year. So we're looking for an authorization to prepare those applications. Typically, your Public Works Committee decides which roads are submitted. Last year, you got approximately $500,000 for Elizabeth Avenue.
All right.
We'd like to have a resolution authorizing that tonight.
And that all went to Ernstine, I believe.
No, you received $500,000 for Elizabeth. You haven't done that project yet. You received, last year you received the prior grant for Ernstine Road.
Okay,
That's the one that's under construction now.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No objection from that, I am certain.
All I have, thank you.
Thank you. Borough Attorney, anything?
No report and also no executive session at this time.
Wonderful. Public portion, anybody wish to speak at this time? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public
Close
portion.
the public portion.
I'm sorry, all in favor? Wonderful.
Motion to
Motion to adjourn? Roll call, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening and thank you all for stopping in.
And happy Mother's Day to all.